Django Unchained.
Continuing my Tarantino series, today we will be going over the seventh film by Tarantino called Django Unchained, which came out in 2012 and was the first Tarantino film I saw in theaters. Django Unchained tells a story about a bounty hunter named Dr. Schultz who needs Django, who's a slave, to help him identify these three men who have a bounty on their heads, and once he does get help doing that task, he then wants to help Django find his wife who's been sold to the Candyland Ranch. This movie stars Christoph Waltz. I've always thought his name was Christopher Waltz, but it's Christoph Waltz without the ER. Jamie Foxx, Samuel L. Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Kerry Washington. And Walton Goggins. This movie has a stellar cast, and that's my first positive right there, is the cast of this film. I think no one else could fit these roles better. I think they were just written to be these people, especially Christoph Waltz and his performance. He was meant to be Dr. Schultz, Dr. King Schultz, and I just love him, and everything he says is just gold. Anytime he's talking, you're just like putting your phone down, you're like, what? He's talking? I gotta listen. Because everything he says is interesting, and his line delivery, he's just fantastic. And I just love how his horse like bows down every time he says his horse's name. His horse respects him too because he's just that awesome. Samuel L. Jackson is in here and he plays that character that you love to hate. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's just everything. Everyone's great. Just the dialogue once again by Tarantino is fantastic, especially when Christoph Waltz's character, Dr. Schultz, is talking. And he always is like talking about, I got a bounty, don't shoot me. He always gives like the same speech about how he's a bounty hunter. But I just feel like this role was written for him. Like, it was just a regular bounty hunter, and then they hire Christoph Waltz, and they're like, well, now let's make him a German bounty hunter, and let's make Jamie Foxx's fiance or wife German too. Like, she has a German name, Brumhilde, and she had German slave owners. So I felt like that was added because of Christoph Waltz. And of course, we got that Tarantino over-the-top violence in the third act, where it's just blood packs squirting out of people, all kinds of squibs, I think that's what they call it. The squib packs are just blowing out. And it's just hilarious and funny because of just how ridiculous it is. All the blood just shooting at people. There's people that are being shot over and over and over again that are on the ground and they're just already dead, but everyone in this movie that's a bad guy, they got that stormtrooper aim, they suck, and they just keep shooting the dead people on the ground. And I love that this is just a unique revenge story. No one could get away with a movie like this. There is controversy around this film because it is about race, and it's set in 1858, the South. This is 2 years before Civil War, and the Civil War was like a 5-year war that ended into 65, right before Lincoln got killed. So this is in the heat of it all. This is right before shit got so tense that we had a war with ourselves. So the race tensions are very high in this film. The N-word's being dropped 1,000 times, and I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio did not want to say it, and he was like, I don't want to say it, don't make me say it, but he had to say it. It's his character. If you want it to feel real, you're going to have to say it, buddy. But yeah, this movie is very controversial because of the race, and people want to act like, oh, it's a white guy making this movie. It's like, whatever. It's like, this movie isn't made in bad taste. It's about a black guy killing white people.
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
He is a rambunctious sword, ain't he?
But what I was trying to say is I love that this is a unique revenge movie because it's a Western movie, and it's got all these different genres attached to it. It's revenge, it's a Western, it's a drama, it's a comedy, it's got some horror elements, it's got some tension, and Django's about to get his dick chopped off by Walton Goggins. This movie is freaking awesome. It's got all these genres packed together. I'm not a Western fan at all, but this is a Western movie that I can watch over and over again. Even though it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, this movie's rewatchable, and it has a great pace, and it never feels like it's over 2.5 hours long. It just feels like it's over 2 hours long. The only little nitpicks I have with this movie is that Django is just unrealistically good at shooting. He's been a slave his entire life, never held a gun. We don't know anything about Django other than he's just been a slave his entire life and he has a wife. But the first time he picks up a gun, he can shoot people hundreds of yards away. And that's when I have to be like, all right, that's bullshit. And there's not like a montage where he gets better which would just be cliche, and then I'd still be here complaining about that. It's cliche montage. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. But he's never bad. He's just automatically good, and there's a montage where he's shooting snowmen, and he's just always hitting target all the time. So I was just like, really, how is he so great all of a sudden? And I would have liked more bonding between Christoph Waltz's character, Schultz. I would have liked more bonding between Schultz and Django, like during that winter montage. We don't get to see all the things they do during the winter. We just know they were probably killing a bunch of people, making money until the springtime when they were going to go get his wife. I would have liked to see a little bit more of what happened in between there and him getting better, him learning to read, and just their bonding together. I would have liked to see just a little bit more of that. And I'm just not a fan of the song choices in this film. Tarantino's usually pretty good at picking out songs, but he throws a couple of rap songs in here, and they don't mesh too well with the scene. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, this isn't the right song for this moment. But other than that, fantastic movie. Now let's go into the spoiler discussion. It's got a hilarious open. I love this opening where you got Schultz. He's driving in with his little funny little tooth wagon. He's pretending he's a dentist. He's a German dentist. Ein Zahnarzt. And he just blows this guy's head away, and he shoots the other guy's horse, falls on him. It's just all the comedy in this scene is just gold. He just tells these slaves, like, hey, you can help that guy up who's pinned underneath the horse, or you can just blow his head off. And that's what they do. They blow his head off, and his blood just like flies everywhere. It's like maniac style head explosions in this film. And Tom Savini is in this movie. He has a little brief cameo at some point. He's like one of the dog wranglers. He has like the dog. But then Schultz buys Django, and he never steals. Like, even though he's basically taking him by force, he's still paying him money. He's like, all right, take the coat. Here's a little coin for the coat. And then they go to a bar, and everyone's staring at Django because he's on a horse. They're like, he can't be riding that horse. And they go in a bar, and Schultz is acting like he's confused by everyone's reaction. But I'm sure he's just being cheeky. He's like, why is everyone freaking out? It's like, because you brought a black guy in the bar. You're not supposed to do that. But it's just, again, just weird comedy. It's uncomfortable comedy because you're like, man, this used to be a thing. But you're still laughing. You're still having a good time. It's dark, and it gets really dark, especially with the Mandingo thing. So it makes you feel uncomfortable, but then you're just still laughing. There's always levity, even with this dark subject matter, this dark ass time in history. You can still have fun watching this movie and not feel so bad, you know. But I love when they just go to the bar and we just get this big old speech by Schultz, and he's talking about how, you know, I don't like slavery, but I have to buy you right now. I need your help. I need you to do this for me, and then I'll let you go. Then the sheriff comes, and the sheriff comes and he just shoots him, and he's like, now you can go get the deputy. I like that Django, when he's told that he can pick out an outfit, and he's like ecstatic, like, really, I can do whatever now, and I got all these freedom and choices I never had before. And then we meet Don Johnson. He's in a lot of movies, but in this one, he's basically like Colonel Sanders. He looks like Colonel Sanders, and they call him Big Daddy. And he's telling one of the slaves to treat Django basically like a white person. She's like, you want me to treat him like white folks? And he's like, I didn't say that. You treat him like you would Jerry. And the dialogue by Tarantino, it's hilarious. And then we get the KKK that shows up, and we got Jonah Hill making a cameo. And this is like South Park humor to me. This is what I was feeling in this scene. I was like, this feels like Trey Parker, Matt Stone dialogue and humor when they're all at this like little group meeting at the KKK, and they're like just pissed off that their masks aren't made correctly, the eye holes, they can't see through it. Just again, more dialogue that's hilarious, and it lands each time. It's not a necessary scene, but I like it. You get Jonah Hill, and how many movies was he famous at this point? I think he did Superbad and then this. So I think he was famous at this point. I love when Django gets revenge on the Brittle brothers, and he takes that whip and he's just whipping that guy over and over and over again. Shoots the other guy right in his Bible page that he has glued to his shirt for some reason. He's like, I like the way you die, boy. Then there's like this little moment with Django learning about his wife's names, like the history of his wife's name, Broomhilda, in German culture. And when you listen to it, it's basically Shrek. The legend of Broomhilda and Germany, it's basically Shrek. But I love that Django's like sitting like on the ground, like holding his legs, like listening like a kid. He looks like a little kid in that moment. And let me just stress again that Schultz is the best character in this movie. He's the best actor and the best character. He doesn't have to help Django find his wife. All right, the main plot in this first half of the movie was, I need you to help me get the Brill brothers. That's it. And then they get him, and then he's like, all right, I didn't know you had a wife, and now I was going to let you go, and I am letting you go, but I'm going to help you out. I don't have to, but I'm going to. See, this Dr. Schultz is amazing. He wants to go help out this guy he just met and has been hanging out with the past couple of months to get these Brittle brothers. He's going to help him get his wife back, and that's just amazing. See, he's just an amazing character. He dies, unfortunately, doing it, but that was also his fault. Then we get this Mandingo fight, and this is probably the darkest moment in the movie where you start to feel kind of bad, and you're just like, oh gosh, this actually happened, where black people were forced to basically fight to the death, like gladiator times. Just like, you finish them off with the hammer, and it's just like, oh fuck. And there's like no comedy attached to that scene, so that's really the darkest moment in the movie. And we get the Tom Savini cameo, like I said, and spell Django. I think iconic scene right there. The D is silent. Then we meet Sam Jackson and Leo's sister. Oh, this incest. I think this is Tarantino poking fun at incest or something, because I think there's some fucking going on. When Leonardo's character, Calvin, shows up to his house, he's like, where's my beautiful sister? And they're like kissing on the lips, very like pecks on the lips, and it's like, oh. And she looks like she's like 15, 20 years older than him. It's disgusting. Now this is the moment where I really do my typical Mr. Hat bullshit, where I just point out dumb little stuff like this, and I don't need to, but when Schultz is speaking to Broomhilda, and he's like talking about how he has a mutual friend, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, where is he? That's what she says. She says, wo ist er? But the subtitle says, where is this friend? Or where is this friend of yours that you speak of? It's like, why are you lying to me? Subtitle, I know that's not what she said. You can't trick me. I know German, so fuck you. She said, wo ist er, not wo ist dein Freund. But yeah, I just love that scene. He's like, sagen Sie, ich verspreche es. You know, promise me you're not going to scream. But she just like tilts the water and faints. How did they have to explain why there was dumped water on the ground later on? Like, no one was questioning why she passed out. And then we get Django should have covered up his R scar. Like, how are they going to sell this story that he doesn't know her if they both have an identical R scar on their cheek? They probably should have thought about that. Just saying. And it never pops up. Like, it's never, like, a thing. So I guess it didn't matter, because that's not the thing that, like, gets them busted. It's not, like, the Draglaser moment of this film. It's just, like, I was like, well, isn't that going to get them busted? But it never comes up. Leo gives this speech about the skull, and, like, if you take a black man's skull and you look inside, there's, like, these 3 dimples on the side where it's, like, obedience. And on white men's skulls, we got these 3 dimples on the side that mean creativity or something. And it's a real theory that used to be heavily believed in back then. That was like their way of justifying, you know, slavery and why we were more creative and they were just obedient. It's terrible, I know, but it's just, you learn something now from this movie. I learned something. I did not know about that dumb theory. I don't think it's true. I love that Schultz is just like so pissed off at Calvin. He thinks he's a despicable human being. You got this chick playing Beethoven on the harp, and he's like, stop playing Beethoven, I'm from Germany, I hear that shit all the fucking time. And Calvin's like, you better shake my hand, or I'm going to blast Broomhilda away. And he's like, you're going to throw away $12,000 if I don't shake your hand? So he's like, fuck it. He just walks up and shoots him away. Love that scene. And I just, because he's just like, I'm not going to walk out of this place knowing that you're still alive. You cannot live another day. I cannot live another day knowing that pieces of shit like you still walk this earth. So even if it means I die, I'm going to kill you. So he just blasts him away, and then looks at Django. He's like, I couldn't resist. But I also love that little like speech, that little brief like comment he gives to Leonardo's character Calvin. He's like, you know, normally I would say Auf Wiedersehen, but I hate your fucking guts and I never want to see your face again, because Auf Wiedersehen means until I see you again, so therefore to you, sir, I just say goodbye. And then this is when like the shootout happens after Calvin gets killed. And there's like all these, I guess gravity is very heavy in this house because all the bullets keep going down and hitting this body in the middle of the room. And even though they can't see Django, they just keep shooting over and over and over again. This is in every movie. Whenever like a group of bad guys comes in, they're like shooting at the good guy and they're hiding somewhere. Even though they can't see their target, they just keep shooting, hoping that eventually it'll be like that movie Wanted, and their bullet's gonna curve and go around and like hit Django. It's like, quit wasting all your fucking ammo, you idiot. But it reminded me of Kill Bill because like there's like that second wave of people and they're just all like climbing up. They got like the ladders. There's like a whole room of people. It was very Kill Bill reminiscent. Like it just reminded me of that movie. Then we get a little Tarantino cameo. He's putting on his fake Australian accent, and this is probably the biggest dumb moment in the movie is where, you know, Django is convincing these people like, yeah, I'm a bounty hunter and I can go get you money. Give me a gun. And what do? They give him a gun. Like, really? You're just going to give him a loaded fucking gun right now? Morons. That was the biggest dumb moment in the whole movie. That was the moment where I was like, get out of here. Bullshit. And then the funniest moment in the movie is, you know, tell Miss Laura goodbye. And he's like, bye, Miss Laura. Boom! Blows her away. She's like on a wire or something. They just pull her like into the other room. She's out of frame, gone, out of the movie forever. It's just hilarious. Django shoots Samuel L. Jackson in his kneecaps after he like admits that he doesn't even need a cane. Like how he's like basically admitting that he never needed a cane before. He just puts his cane down like, I was just faking being an old guy. You know, I'm capable. I can handle my own. And he shoots him in the kneecap. Like, you're going to need that cane now, buddy. Then the whole house blows up with dynamite. And Django's so badass, he like stands right in front of it and just watches it explode. And no debris hits him, even though when it cuts back to Django, there's like all this debris right in front of him, and not a single piece of shrapnel or wood hit him. Bullshit. Again, bullshit, but still such a great film. Those are all my thoughts on this film. I gotta say, when it comes to Django Unchained, this movie is awesome, so go out and buy it. Those are my thoughts on Django Unchained. Is this your favorite Tarantino film of all? You got 9 of them now. Let me know in the comments below. I will be doing probably Inglourious Basterds. That's what I'm going to be watching next. Maybe Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. I haven't seen Jackie Brown. I don't own it. And I plan on getting Death Proof. I haven't seen that one since it came out, and I don't remember jack shit about it. But thank you so much for watching this video. You can hit this like button over here to show your support, and you can follow me on my social media links. I got my social media links in the description box below. And consider becoming a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.